Well, Jim, a terrific result today against Altrincham, who've been going great guns in recent weeks. What pleased you the most today?
Well, I guess the clean sheet, but it's a hard game to judge and analyse because the conditions were really difficult. Their pitch took a bit of a hammering last week, and with the conditions today, it wasn't the best surface to play. The wind seemed to be swirling around, the rain, and and obviously them getting down to 10 men. It was a very bitty, difficult game to judge people. But ultimately, I mean, all we wanted to come here was just play a strong side, be professional, come through the game in the next round, and then just move on. You
could argue that won it by more as well. I mean, you've hit the bar, you've hit the post, you've had a good chance which Matty's saved, and the goalkeeper's made a terrific double save late on. So a lot of chances today.
Well, you'd expect to get plenty of chances late on as they kind of either tire the 10 men or they gamble a little bit more. But I thought first half, we should have scored before we did. I mean, we had tremendous possession around the edge of the box. We had plenty of set plays, and we just needed a little bit more quality to impose ourselves when we had that. And then we sort of like a little bit like the home game. We started being poor in our shape, poor in possession, and allowing them to establish their shape and have the ownership of the ball for periods of the first half. And I thought they worked their way back into the game quite well, because it was quite difficult against the wind. And then that bizarre incident, very unnatural act, challenge. Yeah, just and the referee this time was brave enough to make the right decision.
Looking at your shape, as you mentioned it there, you made a change from Tuesday night to today's game. What brought that about? What was the thinking there?
Well, nothing major. I don't espouse to be I don't want to be known as the Tinker Man. I mean, last week when away from home, the results have not been great. We've looked a little bit lethargic. We've been pulled apart. So it was an easier decision when we went to Spennymoor with them scoring 7 and being top goal scorers of the league to play 5. Make sure we had a platform, even if it was just for the first half, to play 5 and be solid, and then get to half time and then assess our position from then. Paul even asked me in that game where we'd like to play with the slope, and then I said, look, play against the slope, because we're set up to get a clean sheet and we can go and try and win the game second round. I think today we couldn't justify with them, although they've got 2 decent strikers in the 9 and the 10 that can play up against you. I think that we wanted to try and we expected the pitch to be better and for them to play their style of football, which is using the centre halves and building and bouncing around. So we wanted to try and get, if you like, play Jordan up 1, look after the 10 in the pockets, and allow, well, it was due to be Sam or Elliot to be a little bit more aggressive, and try and keep Jake close to Frank. It didn't transpire that way. We end up almost in a 4-1-4-1, almost let them have it at the centre half position and then trying to win it in that consolidated midfield. But I don't think the tactics ultimately made a difference. I think it was just the endeavour and the work rate of the players, and I think throughout the game our discipline, our work rate, our energy got us the result.
You mentioned Jordan Keighren there. His versatility is obviously coming useful in the last few weeks, but he's got some real grit and character as well, hasn't he? It was a terrific performance today in, as you say, really horrible conditions.
Yeah, it was a difficult one for him because the term's a decent player, and then when Elliot was trying to put a bit of pressure on Moulton Williams, alongside Matty Warburton, they kind of did leave holes that we thought that their wingers might exploit, but fortunately the defenders were quite manful. We felt that we'd run that, despite them only having 10 men, that we'd find that they might change the shape and have little awkward questions, and they kind of went to a 4-2-3, and allowed Ashley Hemmons and Callum Mantak to play in little holes which were going to be difficult for the centre halves and for full-backs, but also for Jordan. But Jordan then found himself in a slightly different role. But we changed the shape as the game went on with a different personnel. We brought on Paul, sort of went alongside Jordan and made us a little bit more secure, so they couldn't play for the midfield, and they were relying really on going down the sides, and unfortunately for most of their attacks didn't come to much.
4 ties from Wembley now?
No, look, what we wanted, when we come out of the FA Cup, is to dust ourselves down and get going in the league. Chester was a bit of a disappointment, but we had a poor game against Brackley after the exit against the Yeovil, so we know there's a bit of a hangover from the FA Cup. But bang, we smashed the FA Cup memories out of the way when we went to Spennymoor, and we've got ourselves in a good position now that we know we're going to Ashton on Tuesday night, and we know that if we win there we're in the playoffs. And so, you know, if we just want to keep working hard, but it's nice going into the, if you call the Altrincham game on the 22nd a Christmas game, those 4 or 5 Christmas games, it's nice to be going into them in the FA Trophy, in playoff position, knowing that we're playing a lot of teams who are amongst us if we win those games. And if you look at the stats now, I think our form in particular against the top 7 sides is really good, and the best it has been since I come here. We've been frustrated against lower teams, but I think the form's really good. The squad's looking really good in terms of shape and strength and depth. So we're just looking forward to the next game now, and a lot of work to be done on Monday morning for those lads that can come in and just prepare ourselves, because Ashton will be full of energy, fresh from not playing today. So we just want to keep going, keep moving forward, and that starts on Tuesday night at Ashton.
Well done, you're through to the next round.
Thanks so much.